In today's episode of the Pathmark Presents podcast, I'm with Meghan Watchorn, and she is the head of growth at VanHack. And today we're going to be learning what VanHack is all about. Essentially, it's all about hiring tech talent, and that really fast, and with really qualified candidates. So yeah, Meghan, let's take it away. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. It's great to be here.
Very good. Give us that 360 overview. What is VanHack all about?
Yeah, like we're kind of about creating a borderless world. VanHack is a tech-enabled recruiting platform that connects startups and titans of tech to great talent. We're about to hit a milestone of 250,000 developers on our platform that are looking to move and relocate to Canada or Europe, as well as work remote for our friends south of the 49th in the US.
Very cool. Okay, that gives us a brief overview. You are more working on the B2B side. We had a quick chat prior to this. Tell us a little bit about maybe first sort of the types of candidates that are in your platform. Like obviously there's a huge variety, but like generically, like a bit of an overview, and then the types of companies that you're working with.
Yeah, absolutely. In terms of our candidates, usually intermediate to senior developers. So you have full stack, back end, front end, maybe UI, UX, as well as data scientists, DevOps would all be within our platform. So we're definitely on the more technical side of talent, and a lot of our customers, that's really where they're struggling in their local talent pools. Is to find and attract those intermediate to senior developers. And that's kind of like that's our niche.
Very cool. And on the flip side, what types of companies are you working with? Is there a specific industry, specific size of companies? Tell us a bit about that.
Yeah, like in terms of the companies, definitely we have been working with a lot of scale-up companies over the course of the last 6 years. So we go right from startups, scale-ups, all the way to unicorns. Quite often, we've kind of grown with companies that we serve as well. So we are quite often, within the first 10, 15 hires of an organization, then they get some funding and we kind of grow along with them. Some of our, our biggest and largest customers, for example, if I can give an example of a customer, would be Skip the Dishes that was opening up offices in the center of Canada, Winnipeg, a place close to my heart because it's my hometown where I grew up. And we were able to hire over 100 developers to move from Brazil to Winnipeg. We did a big hiring mission there, but we're able to bring a large number of developers to a community that didn't have the local talent.
Okay, very, very good. That gives us an insight to who you guys are working with. So tell us a little bit about how because obviously you're focusing very much on the B2B side. So, and we are a B2B sort of majority of B2B guests are on the show. So maybe let's talk about that angle primarily. So how do companies hear about VanHack? Like, what's the typical journey of assuming a recruiter or a head of HR or finding you guys and getting started?
Yeah, I mean, I think that definitely our top channel still tends to be referral. We head out, our growth team heads out and sponsors a lot of events in communities as well, which I think, we quite often are sponsoring events and bringing our team to those events to be able to talk to people about some of the challenges that they're facing. When it comes to global mobility, that's a big area of expertise that we have, with moving and relocating folks, particularly to Canada, which is where we were headquartered, but also in Europe as well. We do have that global mobility piece. And for a lot of organizations, it's often been their first time of thinking outside of their first time of looking internationally. So definitely that's a big channel that we use to be able to attract folks. We're using a lot of automation, sales enablement. We're using a lot of video personalization and outreach. We recognize, in light of the pandemic that our inboxes are getting bigger and bigger, and to be able to, to kind of get ourselves through the clutter, we're going to have to be creative in the ways that we get noticed and get our name out in front of people. And I think social selling has been really important for us as well. We have amazing stories that we get to share of people moving halfway across the world in the middle of a global pandemic with their kids and their dogs all masked up, starting their new lives. Those stories, we try to share those stories. They're really popular on both the candidate as well as the B2B side, to be able to show kind of, what our mission is of building a borderless world.
Okay, very cool. Now, when people getting to know VanHack on the B2B side, what role do you attribute to the website? What role does the website play in their sort of journey getting to know you guys?
Yeah, in terms of the website, I mean, quite often that's the first place somebody goes and they actually look within our talent pool, right? So we have an anonymous view, so anybody can kind of come and look at the talent, without signing up for the platform, and we have a quick 1.5 page, hiring partner agreement, basically. That kind of works out to, if you hire somebody from our platform, you're going to be paying us. But people are able to use the website to actually see, hey, on scale here, if I'm looking for a Ruby on Rails developer, I can actually see that, I have, using Scale, I can actually have some candidates presented to me in a very short period of time. And I can also look within the platform myself to actually see, some of those candidate profiles. We're also using it, the website also for customer testimonials, as well as, to help describe our processes, the way that we work, the events that we hold, and attract people, through the website for that.
Mm-hmm. Very, very good. What I always like to ask, sort of, people that are, head of growth or coming from either the marketing function or the growth function, it doesn't necessarily need to just apply to this website, just something maybe that you picked up over the years. Like, and last question on the website there, when looking at the website traffic, right, typically a small percentage is converting. How do you go about figuring out, or have you been going around in the past, like why people do or do not convert? Like kind of what's your sort of like, what have you picked up as like growth, like methods or approaches to figure that out?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's just the very beginning for us to be able to actually kind of go there. We've been very blessed, I think, in a lot of cases, that, our business has been based a lot upon referral. As a result, we haven't really had to kind of go and do much of a deep dive. That being said, we are looking at doubling down on marketing efforts in 2022. Right now, we're currently hiring for a number of key roles. And then we can really kind of dive into the data. And I think right now we've been not able to kind of do as much as we could there in terms of people converting on the sites. We're definitely going to be looking at doing more testing of different landing pages and really kind of looking at the messaging as well. I mean, we serve multiple markets, European, Canadian, American. Those are very different conversations, I think, or even just the way our services can be presented, that we're going to have to kind of, do a little bit more tailoring and personalization to be able to serve those markets better with companies and brands that the European customers will be able to recognize and identify. So yeah, I think that we're going to be definitely really focusing our efforts in diving into some more data in the course of the next 12 months and really kind of playing more than we ever have before.
Very cool. I want to get to know you a little bit better as a marketer, as a growth leader. There's a lot of content out there on growth marketing, on the growth function. Actually, the growth function is being redefined in many organizations. Sometimes it's very sales heavy, sometimes very marketing heavy. What's the content that you like to consume? Like, what is the places where you go to keep on educating yourself and keep on growing with what's happening out there? Is there certain platforms, peer groups? What do you do?
Yeah, there's definitely a lot of peer group. I'm a part of a number of different things. Myself and a member of our teams are part of other things. We just joined Pavilion as an organization, the growth team. So right now we have people, taking CMO school or CRO school or sales school and things like that. And just the exposure to the mentorship and lunch roulette conversations that are happening is really kind of getting us, making sure that we know of all of the greatest and latest tools and tricks so that our teams can be armed to be able to automate more and to do a little bit more personalization and kind of getting a better understanding. And I think organizations like that expose us It's
Mm-hmm.
usually, it's not a sales call, it's usually like a peer-to-peer call. We get to learn a little bit more about what's worked, what people have implemented, has it been successful, and you can kind of learn from each other rather than taking that kind of like big jump and leap without having somebody firsthand have that experience of how they implemented it in their organization.
Yep, I see. Since we're slowly approaching the end of the interview, I would have some rapid fire questions. Are you ready for those?
Oh yeah, hit me.
Very good. What's the last book you read?
The 3-minute rule.
Mm-hmm. What's one single thing that your company's focused on the most at the moment?
Attracting more candidates to the platform.
If there would be no boundaries in tech, what's the one thing you would fix for your role?
Automate everything.
Nice. Very good. What's the last thing that kept you awake at night about the company?
That one's a hard one to answer. I don't know if anything's kept me awake at night, but just, lost opportunity. We're in that scale up phase right now. And I know that sometimes when you're in that scale up phase, it's run. Mm-hmm. And it's the way to go. But definitely, lost opportunities is ahead of growth is always something that kind of keeps you up.
Mm-hmm. And for the last question, I want to do a little bit of time travel with you, if you allow. Let's go back to the days of ESSEC Business School, right? And now you're heading off into, further into the world of growth and, basically growth and leadership for companies. What's the one advice you would give yourself back to that last day at ESSEC?
I think that definitely, making sure that it's, you take a master's and you're always continuing to learn. Mm-hmm. And it's also something that I think it's really important to be a self-learner as well, to not wait for somebody to tell you to take a course. If you're interested in it, go learn. If you're curious, learn. Definitely reaching out, and there's everybody wants to tell their stories and share their stories, and just using tools that are out there to be able to connect people and learn from one another. I think is going to be, it was something that I think I've always done, but I would have said you don't know it all. Definitely, especially when it comes to digital, when it comes to marketing, if you're not up to breast, like every year with the latest and greatest and learning, and you're gonna fall behind.
And I really appreciate you took the time with us today to be a guest on PathFunk Presents. I want to give you the very last word. If somebody would be forgetting all that we discussed today about VanHack, what's the one thing that they should remember?
Yeah, I think it'd be let's create a borderless world. We are not necessarily going back, all of us, especially in the world of tech, to offices. So let's kind of look outside of our local areas and look at the movement of people and the flexibility that the pandemic is almost brought upon us in a lot of ways. The kind of the silver lining. Mm-hmm. Let's not work from home. Let's work from anywhere, and let's open our minds up to amazing talents in any area, whether it's tech or whether it's sales and marketing or everything. There's a lot to learn from other cultures and from people who have been exposed to a lot of different things.
Thanks a lot for being a guest on PathFunk Presents.
Awesome.